My neighbor leaves his door open every night, and I think I know why I'm 27, living in a small apartment building on the edge of the city. I moved here about 6 months ago. It's quiet, nothing unusual. I work remotely, so I spend most of my time at home. There are only 3 apartments on my floor. Mine is in the middle. On the left, there's an older woman I barely ever see. On the right, there's a guy in his 40s. I think his name is Mark. We've never really talked, just the occasional nod in the hallway. Everything was completely normal until a few weeks ago. I started noticing something strange. His door was often slightly open, not wide open, just a few inches. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe he was airing out the place. Maybe the lock was faulty. Old buildings have issues like that, but it kept happening, almost every night. I first noticed it late in the evening. I'd go to the kitchen, glance through my peephole, and see a thin line of light coming from his apartment, and that small gap in the door. Sometimes I thought I could hear something. Not voices, more like soft shuffling, like someone walking barefoot on the floor. One time I opened my door pretending to take out the trash just to listen more closely. Silence. But the moment I went back inside, the sound returned. Faint. Uneven. I told myself it was just my imagination, or weird acoustics. A few days later, it got stranger. I started noticing the door wasn't just open at night, but early in the morning too. Sometimes even with no lights on inside. Just darkness. And the door slightly open. That didn't feel right. One evening, I knocked, lightly, just to check. No answer. I was about to walk away when I heard something. Very close to the door, like someone standing right behind it. I froze. No footsteps, no voice, just presence. I said, everything okay in there? Silence. Then. Very slowly, the door opened a little wider. On its own, I stepped back. Honestly, I just went back into my apartment. That was the first time I felt genuinely uneasy. The next day, I ran into Mark on the stairs. He looked completely normal, almost too normal. I decided to ask directly, "Hey, your door's been open a lot lately." He looked at me for a few seconds, just stared, then said, "I don't open it." I thought he was joking. "Well, it's open almost every night." He shook his head. "No," and walked away. After that, I started getting nervous. I began checking my locks multiple times before going to bed. Sometimes I even put a chair under the doorknob. Then something else started happening. I began hearing movement in the hallway at night. Not exactly footsteps, more like something dragging, like it was moving, but not quite walking. And every time, a faint creak. His door. Last night, something happened that made me write this. It was around 3:20 a.m. I woke up because of a sound, not loud, but very clear. Someone was standing outside my door. I could feel it. I don't know how to explain. I walked quietly to the peephole. At first, I saw darkness, but not complete. A thin line of light from his apartment. His door was open again. Then I noticed something moving between our doors, not fully visible, just partially, like someone standing very close to my door, but not directly in front of the peephole. I held my breath. Then I heard whispering, not words, just something trying to sound like language. I stepped back, and then something, very slowly, ran along my doorknob from the outside. I heard it shift slightly. I was sure I locked it. The handle stopped moving. Silence. I didn't move for what felt like 5 minutes. Then I looked again. The hallway was empty and Mark's door was fully open. Inside, complete darkness. But I swear, it looked like there was another figure deeper inside the apartment, just standing there, watching. This morning, everything looked normal. His door was closed. I saw Mark again near the elevator. I wanted to ask him about it. But as he passed me, he quietly said, "You started hearing them too, didn't you?" I didn't respond. I'm not sure I want to stay here another night, but I'm even less sure this is something that stays in one place. Is this normal? Should I tell someone?